Ash Ketchum has died 6 confirmed times on screen. 6. And somehow that's not even enough deaths to fill this list. This is every Ash Ketchum death ranked. The 2019 CGI remake, Mewtwo Strikes Back. Evolution had absolutely no business making adults cry twice. Same scene, beats frame for frame, except now Pikachu's fur is rendered strand by strand, every individual hair soaking wet from tears. Photorealistic grief, essentially. The animators thought, what if the most traumatizing childhood scene looked real this time? And then they did it. People who'd spent 20 years thinking they'd processed this moment found out they absolutely had not. No new context or extra dialogue. Just better technology weaponized directly against your emotional scar tissue. The original broke you as a kid. The remake broke you as an adult who should have known better. This belongs nowhere near the top. It's a technical replay, not a new death. But it proves the scene has permanent power regardless of render quality. B tier. So right after surviving a Gyarados the size of a subway train, Ash and Go don't get a breather. They go straight off a waterfall, just momentum and gravity doing their thing. The drop is the kind of height where, in any other context, you'd cut to a funeral scene. 2 kids, 0 harnesses, full velocity into whatever's waiting below. Physics says this should be a coroner's report. The show says it's a 2-for-1 near-death combo packaged inside a single Gyarados encounter, which is honestly impressive efficiency for 1 episode. And they survive completely fine. Not barely fine, just fine. Walk it off, continue the plot. Journeys really said, why kill Ash once when you can almost kill him twice before the commercial break? C tier. Pikachu's Thunderbolt. Pikachu's 100,000-volt Thunderbolt is, by electrical engineering standards, enough to stop a human heart roughly 40 times over. And the show runs this gag across every single series. Ash too close, Pikachu panicking, full voltage, charged silhouette. Medically speaking, that's cardiac arrest. Narratively speaking, that's Tuesday. Pokemon dressed up a clinical fatality as a punchline, and somehow nobody questioned it for 25 years. D tier. Okay, so Pikachu's voltage gag is apparently comedy. This next one? Ash decided comedy wasn't enough and went full action hero. In the XY series, Ash spots Talonflame in distress near an active volcano and does what any rational 10-year-old would do, jump straight in, vibes and a death wish. The volcano is erupting, the lava is actual lava, and Ash is airborne toward it because a bird looks sad. The thing is, Froakie evolves into Frogadier mid-rescue, which is the only reason Ash doesn't become the world's youngest geological feature. Froakie essentially speed ran an entire evolutionary milestone just to stop this kid from self-immolating. Talonflame got saved. Ash got saved. Nobody questioned the parenting situation. C tier. 1 XY episode in, Ash already jumped into a volcano. The show apparently decided that wasn't reckless enough. Lumiose City. Pikachu gets blasted to the top of a 40-story tower, and Ash, without a single backup plan, swan dives off the edge after him. No flying Pokemon on standby, just vibes and terminal velocity. And here's the thing. Mega Blaziken literally materializes from nowhere at the last possible second to catch them both, which sounds less like a rescue and more like the universe personally intervening because it can't believe what it's watching. That was way too close. Ash says this. Ash, who jumped off a skyscraper, too close. Buddy, you were the danger. This is XY speedrunning plausible deniability. The show technically didn't kill him, it just let him freefall long enough to make you think it might. C tier. Right, so here's a death that's almost funny until it isn't. At the climax of the first movie, Ash nearly eats it stumbling off a ledge, and the only reason he survives is because Brock, Misty, and Team Rocket collectively dive to grab him, which is wholesome. Except Team Rocket, mid-genuine tension, openly acknowledge that if Ash dies, their show business career is over.
If anything ever happened to you, we'd be out of show business.
They break the fourth wall to save him purely out of professional self-interest. And somehow that's the most honest the franchise has ever been. Not grief and love, just Jesse and James running a cost-benefit analysis on whether Ash's survival is good for their brand. The most self-aware near-death in the series, the show admitted it will always pull the trigger back before firing. The characters know it. They said it out loud. C tier. And here's where the movie gets embarrassed by its own cowardice. Because seconds after that climax, the film tries it again. Ash and Pikachu plummet toward the ground in the closing sequence, which should obviously be fatal, except Charizard materializes at the exact last fraction of a second and scoops them both out of freefall. Charizard arriving on schedule like a very large fire-breathing safety net. The film has already admitted it will never go through with it, and then immediately stages another death drop anyway. That's not drama, that's a kid yelling, "I'm going to do it," and then not doing it twice in the same movie. Pokemon's clearest written confession, delivered via Dragon Rescue, that Ash is structurally immortal. D tier. So here's the thing about Ash and ledges. The show didn't do this just once. Across multiple series, Ash gets shoved off ledges involuntarily, not sacrificing himself, pushed by wild Pokemon, by accidents, by narrative convenience. Each time, something catches him. Each time, the writers flirt with the idea without committing. It's less a death scene and more a recurring nervous habit. D tier. The Ghost Tower episode. In the original series, isn't Ash almost dying from falling or jumping or getting blasted? It's Haunter reaching into Ash's body and pulling his soul out, like popping a cork. 1 second, Ash is standing in Lavender Town's Ghost Tower. The next, his physical body is slumped on the floor, while his ghost is floating above it, fully conscious. Goofing around with Haunter like this is a normal Tuesday. And the thing is, the show plays it kinda light. There's no dramatic music swell, no tearful Pikachu moment. Ash's spirit just leaves. His body is just lying there, abandoned. The first time in the entire franchise that the show actually committed to separating soul from body on screen rather than just threatening to. Every other death before this either flung Ash off something tall or used future tech villainy. This one used basic ghost mechanics in a children's cartoon and quietly became the most existentially disturbing moment of the original series. Hey, Haunter, put me back. That's the energy of this entire scene. Ash is not stressed enough about this. B tier. Drowning in the ice flow is quieter than almost everything else on this list. Ash is submerged in freezing water, going unconscious inside an ice flow in the original series. And somehow that's almost worse. Hypothermia is not dramatic, it's just slow and dark and your body stops. He goes under. He loses consciousness. The show moves past it with the emotional weight of a weather report. But think about what that actually is. A 10-year-old child drowning in freezing water mid-episode, treated like a minor inconvenience between plot beats. The thing is, this death should count more than it does. It just refuses to make noise about it. B tier. Pokemon Heroes 2002. Alto Mare. Ash and Latios get pulled into the same catastrophic energy wave powering the city's defense system, the one that tears Latios apart from the inside. Latios doesn't survive it. Ash does, technically, which means he gets carried unconscious out of the canal like a 10-year-old fishing casualty while an actual legendary Pokemon dies beside him. Latios sacrifices himself to stop the wave. Ash gets swept through the same energy and surfaces face down, completely unresponsive, fished out by Misty and Brock like they've done this before. Because they basically have. But this one lands differently, because Latios is gone. Permanently. The movie doesn't walk it back. One of them died and one of them didn't, and somehow the one who lived feels worse to watch. Ash didn't choose this. He got caught in someone else's death and came out the other side dripping wet and unconscious while Latios became a soul drop in a fountain. Quietly, one of the most traumatizing near deaths because the death it mirrors actually sticks. A tier. Movie 6, Jirachi. Wishmaker contains one of those moments you completely forgot happened until someone brings it up, and then you feel briefly insane. A fake Groudon, summoned through corrupted wish energy, starts absorbing life force from everything around it. Ash gets caught in the drain. He doesn't get blasted or petrified or swept through a legendary's death wave. He just collapses quietly, like his body filed a formal complaint and shut down. No dramatic Pikachu breakdown. The movie treats it like ambient danger and moves on, which is somehow more unsettling than a full funeral sequence would be. Getting your life force pulled out by a fake god made of corrupted wishes is objectively a worse way to go than falling off a waterfall. The film acts like nothing happened. That's exactly what makes it stick. C tier. Now, I Choose You from 2007 is doing something genuinely different, and I need you to understand that before we get to the death. This isn't the 1998 film with a fresh coat of paint, it's a full alternate canon retelling. Different timeline, companions, and different emotional architecture. So when Ash dies here, the show has no debt to the original. It earns nothing from nostalgia, it has to actually land on its own. The sequence is a fully CG-rendered alternate timeline vision, Ash struck down while the world around him unravels into something bleak and beautiful and completely merciless. The visual language is newer, crisper, more expressive than anything the franchise had attempted at theatrical scale in years. Individual frames carry actual weight. You feel the impact because the animation lets you feel it instead of cutting away. Then Ash turns to Pikachu mid-vision and says something that broke every adult in the theater. He asks Pikachu if he ever wished he'd chosen a different trainer. It's a dying man doubting his whole existence to a cartoon mouse. In a children's movie, obviously Ash gets pulled back. The franchise's survival instinct never fully sleeps. But the thing is, this version of the death works specifically because it's in an alternate canon. There are no rules protecting him here. The original Ash is fine. This Ash? The movie genuinely makes you unsure for about 90 seconds. That's longer than most adults can handle. A tier. Eternatus shows up in Journeys and immediately makes every previous threat look like a minor inconvenience. This is a Pokemon that caused a catastrophic energy surge across an entire city. Buildings crumbling, sky turning purple, the kind of destruction that usually gets reserved for the final 30 minutes of a superhero movie. And Ash gets caught directly inside it. He's rendered fully unconscious amid city-level destruction, which the show frames with enough visual weight that you genuinely clock it as mortal. Ash's body goes limp inside a catastrophe that logically should not leave a 10-year-old intact. The thing is, Journeys actually commits harder to the visual spectacle here than most preceding moments. The scale is enormous. Ash is just caught in it, which somehow strips away the heroic framing and makes it feel more like a realistic casualty. But then Leon and the legendary dog stabilize Eternatus. Ash wakes up, and the modern series quietly files this under that intense Journeys arcs and moves on. Closest to post, Sun and Moon era gets to actually committing. Obviously, it doesn't. A tier. Now, before we get to the death that started all of this, we need to talk about the one that makes the 1998 original feel structurally simple by comparison. Because I Choose You doesn't just kill Ash once in that 2017 film. It kills him, and then, while he's dying, shows him an entire alternate existence where Pokemon never existed. That's a hallucination nested inside a death scene, a meta-death. The show apparently decided one mortality moment per film wasn't ambitious enough, so it built a second one inside the first. Here's how it works. Ash is struck and going down, which we covered, but before he's gone, the film drops him into a vision of a normal human life. No Pikachu and Pokemon anywhere, just a world where none of this happened. And the thing is, that vision is its own death. The death of the version of Ash that actually matters to anyone watching. The kid with the Pokedex and the dream. Ash in a schoolroom with no Pikachu is, philosophically speaking, a corpse with a pulse. Then Pikachu speaks. Actually speaks in human language. To pull him back. Which is either the most beautiful moment in the franchise or the most emotionally manipulative depending on how old you were in 2017. Because I want to be with you. 2 deaths for the price of 1 ticket, one of which you didn't even realize was happening. S tier. And here we are. Every near miss, lava dive, and every convenient legendary showing up exactly 1 second before impact. All of it was prologue to this. Mewtwo Strikes Back, 1998. The film grosses $172 million worldwide and traumatizes an entire generation of children who thought they were going to see a fun cartoon about trading cards. Ash watches Mew and Mewtwo exchange energy blasts powerful enough to vaporize everyone in that stadium, and instead of stepping back like any rational person, he steps directly into the middle of it. The blasts connect. He turns to stone, and Pikachu, already completely drained from the clone battle, starts hitting him with every Thunderbolt he has left, shaking him, crying, and nothing happens. Then every Pokemon in that stadium starts weeping. Real tears, and those tears float up, catch the light, and drift toward Ash's stone body until it slowly, impossibly, dissolves back into him. And the thing is, Ash never remembers any of it. The whole scene is wiped from his memory by the end. He died, got cried back to life by hundreds of Pokemon, and woke up asking what he missed, which somehow makes it worse. Writer Takeshi Shudo apparently wanted the film to end permanently. Ash as an old man, just remembering. The studio quietly said no, and here we are. A franchise built on a death it almost couldn't walk back. Every other entry on this list borrowed from what this moment built. The lava jumps, the tower dives, the stone, CG remake, the alternate vision. All of them are footnotes. This one created the template. S tier, undisputed. Everyone remembers Mewtwo turning Ash to stone. Almost nobody talks about the other near death in a Pokemon movie that same year. Climax of Pokemon, the movie 2000. Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres are locked in a three-way elemental war over the orb of the legendary birds, and the entire Orange Island's ecosystem is collapsing because of it. Ash climbs into the eye of the storm to physically return the orbs and stop it, lightning, ice, and fire converging on the exact spot he's standing in. He gets struck directly by legendary tier elemental attacks mid-collapse. He goes down, unmoving, and it takes Lugia's Song of the Earth to undo the damage. This one gets buried because Mewtwo stole the cultural oxygen that same era. A tier. Hoopa and the Clash of Ages doesn't get credit for what it does to Ash in the third act. Hoopa's rings tear open and pull Rayquaza, Primal Groudon, and Primal Kyogre into the same space at once. Three apex legendaries who shouldn't coexist, all enraged, attacking simultaneously. Ash is inside that arena, not observing it, trying to physically stop Hoopa before the fight levels the city. Precipice. Blades tear up the ground. Origin. Pulse floods the arena. Dragon Ascent detonates overhead. Ash gets caught directly in the crossfire of three world-ending attacks stacked on top of each other and goes down under the rubble before Hoopa reverses the event. The only entry on this list where Ash isn't caught in one legendary's attack, he's caught between three. B tier. Subscribe to the channel for more tier lists like this. We're done here.